Imagine a quiet summer morning in the vast wilderness of Siberia. The only sounds are the rustling leaves and the distant call of birds. Suddenly, the peace is shattered by a blinding flash of light and an earth-shaking explosion that rattles windows hundreds of miles away. Trees are flattened, as if swept aside by the hand of a vengeful giant. What caused this unimaginable chaos? A century later, scientists are still searching for answers. This is the story of the Tunguska Event, a mystery wrapped in fire and thunder. It was June 30th, 1908. The sun rose early over the vast Siberian taiga, casting golden light over endless miles of towering pine trees and thick underbrush. The region, near the Podkamenaya Tunguska River, was a desolate expanse, untouched by modern civilization. The closest town, Vanavara, was a modest settlement located about 40 miles from the epicenter of the upcoming event. Life moved slowly here, dictated by the rhythms of nature. The people living in this remote wilderness were primarily hunters and reindeer herders from the Evenki tribe, who had thrived in harmony with the rugged environment for generations. They knew the forest intimately, its trails, its wildlife, and its dangers. Yet nothing in their ancestral knowledge could have prepared them for what was about to unfold. That morning, the air was crisp and still, filled with the earthy scent of pine and the distant murmur of the river. Birds flitted through the trees, their songs echoing through the forest. Families in Vanavara went about their daily routines, tending to livestock, gathering supplies, and preparing for another day of quiet, isolated life. As the hours passed, the tranquility of the region masked the approach of something unimaginable. The sky, a clear canvas of blue, began to shift subtly. Some Evenki hunters later recalled feeling a strange tension in the air as though nature itself was holding its breath. Dogs whined and paced nervously, sensing an invisible threat. Miles away, near the Tunguska River, reindeer herders set up their camps, oblivious to the approaching catastrophe. Smoke curled lazily from campfires as they prepared simple meals. The landscape stretched endlessly in all directions, serene and unchanging, until it wasn't. The scene was set for one of the most mysterious and devastating events in recorded history. The remote wilderness, usually so predictable in its solitude, would soon become the epicenter of a cosmic explosion that would defy explanation for generations. At approximately 7:17 a.m. local time, the calm Siberian morning was shattered by a blinding flash of blue-white light streaking across the sky. Eyewitnesses described it as a pillar of fire moving rapidly from the southeast. Moments later, a massive explosion ripped through the atmosphere, releasing energy equivalent to between 10 and 15 megatons of TNT, around 1,000 times more powerful than the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima. The shockwave flattened an estimated 80 million trees across an area of more than 800 square miles. Those within a 40-mile radius were knocked to the ground by the force of the blast. Even in Vanavara, windows shattered, and people were thrown off their feet. The ground trembled as if gripped by a powerful earthquake. In the epicenter, trees were scorched and stripped of their branches but remained standing, a curious phenomenon that puzzled scientists for decades. Despite the catastrophic destruction, there was no impact crater. The object, believed to be a meteoroid or comet fragment, had disintegrated in the atmosphere before reaching the ground. A towering column of fire and smoke rose into the sky, followed by a series of thunderous booms that echoed across the landscape. Witnesses miles away describe the sensation as the sky splitting apart. For several nights after the event, the skies over Europe and Asia glowed with an eerie luminescence, likely caused by ice particles dispersed high in the atmosphere. Despite the magnitude of the explosion, there were no confirmed human casualties, a miraculous outcome given the scale of the devastation. However, reports surfaced of reindeer herders suffering burns and injuries, and the ecosystem bore the scars of the blast for decades. When the dust settled, the devastation was unlike anything the world had seen. Trees were scorched and flattened, lying in a radial pattern pointing away from the center of the blast. Strangely, no crater was found. The absence of a smoking hole in the ground only deepened the mystery. Incredibly, despite the sheer magnitude of the explosion, there were no confirmed human casualties. Some Evenki people, however, reported severe burns and strange illnesses in the following weeks. In the years that followed, scientists, adventurers, and conspiracy theorists alike descended upon Tunguska, each offering their own explanation for the event. The most widely accepted theory is that a meteoroid or comet, approximately 50 to 60 meters in diameter, exploded in the atmosphere at an altitude of 5 to 10 kilometers. This theory accounts for the massive release of energy and the absence of an impact crater. The disintegration of the object before it reached the ground explains why no significant fragments were found. Some researchers have suggested that the object was a fragment of a comet composed primarily of ice. This would explain the lack of physical remnants at the site, as ice would have vaporized upon entering the Earth's atmosphere. Studies of the soil in the blast zone have revealed traces of materials consistent with extraterrestrial origin, lending support to this hypothesis. Other scientists have explored the possibility of a natural gas explosion. The Siberian region is rich in methane deposits trapped beneath the permafrost. A sudden release and ignition of this gas could theoretically produce a blast of comparable magnitude, although no direct evidence supports this scenario. Then there are the more unconventional theories. Some have speculated about the involvement of antimatter, exotic particles colliding with matter and annihilating in a burst of energy. While intriguing, this idea lacks concrete evidence and remains speculative. One persistent but scientifically unsupported idea involves alien intervention. The notion that a malfunctioning extraterrestrial spacecraft exploded over Tunguska has fueled numerous books and documentaries. Despite the lack of evidence, the sheer mystery surrounding the event keeps such ideas alive in popular culture. Famed inventor Nikola Tesla's name has also been linked to the Tunguska event. Some fringe theorists have suggested that he might have accidentally caused the explosion while testing a directed energy weapon. However, there is no credible evidence to support this claim. In recent years, advances in technology have allowed scientists to simulate the event more accurately and analyze previously gathered data in new ways. Sophisticated computer models have been developed to recreate the dynamics of the explosion, shedding light on how a meteoroid or comet fragment could have released such immense energy without leaving an impact crater. One breakthrough came with detailed satellite imagery and remote sensing technologies, which allowed researchers to study the Tunguska site in unprecedented detail. Analysis of tree growth patterns revealed long-term ecological impacts, with accelerated growth in the years following the blast, a phenomenon linked to the chemical changes in the soil caused by the explosion. Field expeditions have continued into the 21st century, yielding valuable insights. Soil and tree core samples have been collected and analyzed for isotopic signatures that hint at extraterrestrial origins. Traces of rare metals, such as iridium, have been detected, further supporting the theory of a meteoric origin. Additionally, advancements in meteoroid tracking have provided new context for understanding similar atmospheric explosions. Events like the 2013 Chelyabinsk meteor, which exploded over Russia with a force comparable to 30 Hiroshima bombs, have offered real-time data that aligns with the Tunguska Event's characteristics. Despite these scientific advancements, questions remain. The precise nature of the object, whether a stony meteoroid, comet fragment, or something else entirely, has yet to be conclusively determined. The peculiar standing trees near the epicenter continue to intrigue researchers, as do the long-term environmental changes documented in the blast zone. International collaboration has become key to ongoing research. Scientists from Russia, Europe, and the United States are working together to piece together the puzzle, hoping to unlock the final secrets of the Tunguska event. Their work not only helps us understand past cosmic threats, but also informs planetary defense strategies aimed at mitigating the risk of future impacts. The Tunguska event remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of modern times. It serves as a chilling reminder of the unpredictable and destructive power of our universe. To this day, the scarred landscape of Tunguska stands as a testament to an event that defies easy explanation. As scientists continue to study the site and search for answers, the mystery of Tunguska endures, captivating the imagination of anyone who dares to look up at the sky and wonder, what if it happens again? The Tunguska event was a warning, written in fire across the Siberian sky, a cosmic mystery that reminds us how small we truly are. And while science may one day unlock all its secrets, for now, it remains one of Earth's most tantalizing tales of suspense and wonder. Thank you for spending your time with me today. I truly appreciate it. If this story made you think, feel, or see the world a little differently, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. Lastly, if you're not already part of this community, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss the next historic tale. Until then, stay curious, stay thoughtful, and I'll see you in the next story.